I guarantee with 100% certainty that you will underspend on paid media in September and October. And in this video, I'm going to explain exactly why and hopefully convince you to just spend a little bit more in September and October. And that's going to significantly help the November, December period where you can actually then go and pull back on spend. And so to explain why this is the case, we first need to look at November and explain why is November such a good month in e-commerce? Why do you get such a spike in efficiency and such a spike in demand? And then how can we start thinking through spend allocation during that period and the prior periods? So anytime that a sale occurs, what a sale is it's the actualization of everyone in the funnel, getting them to purchase. And so what you can think about is every single day when you spend money, you are spending money to serve to people that already know about you, as well as to serve to fresh, new top of funnel audiences. And we can think about this in the traditional marketing funnel. And so you go and spend $1,000 today, you might go and serve to 20,000 new people who have never seen you before. What then happens is these people end up making their way through the purchasing funnel. And so they start to become problem aware. They then become product aware and how you solve that solution. And then eventually some people get to the bottom and actually decide to go and make a purchase. The thing is when you run a sale, what you end up doing is speeding this process up. Where people might have taken 7 days traditionally to go through the funnel, become aware of your product, become aware of the solution, see 3-4 different ads, maybe get an email from you, and then make a purchase. If you have this funnel and then you go, oh, by the way, we're doing a 40% off flash sale 2-day only, what ends up happening is people get pulled down the funnel to purchase faster. It introduces a sense of urgency and value that allows you to collapse the whole funnel and realize it right now. So what then ends up happening anytime you run a sale is that the funnel effectively turns into like nothing, right? It goes to tiny. Because all of these people that were in here aware, about to buy at some point in the future, they might have bought in 2 days, might have bought in 10 days, might have bought in 20 days, they all now bought. So there's no one left in the funnel. And that's why you always have a slump period after a sale. Some people call it sales fatigue. So you run a sale and then after, your revenue doesn't go back down to baseline, it goes well below baseline. And it's because all of the people that normally would have purchased from you have already bought. You pulled them forward. You almost pulled revenue from the future into now. And so we can think about November and Black Friday in this exact same way. What you're doing is you're taking the whole funnel of everyone that was thinking about buying from you, everyone that was getting entered into the funnel through September, October, even early November, and you're actualizing them all into revenue in one specific moment through a really convincing offer. So theoretically, if you go and just increase spend as much as possible on Black Friday, you're just going to increase your frequency on these people, which might be effective to a point, but there's obviously diminishing returns on just serving to the same warm audiences thousands of times. Okay, we really want to control the frequency to what we believe is a realistic amount of impressions that's going to drive an actual purchase. Now you might think, well, in November, we're also serving to new audiences, right? We're not just serving to warm people that are already in the funnel. We're going and serving to direct cold audiences and converting them too. And the answer to that is no, you're kind of not. And you can look at the actual data in your ad account to validate this. And I've looked at over 50 ad accounts to validate this point, which is why I say it with such confidence, which is that you can look at rolling reach in your account. And what you will see in November is that the amount of net new reach that you get in the ad account is like 70% lower than September and October. And so your cost per net new reach goes up exponentially. It costs like 5x more to target new people during the November period. Now that's a function of CPMs going up. It's just very expensive to serve in that period, but it's also a function of the fact that Meta just doesn't want to serve on new audiences. Meta wants to serve on these warm audiences because it knows they're the people that will convert. And you can think about this just through the consumer experience. Have you ever gone into a Black Friday period, got served an ad for the first time from a brand that you've never seen before, and then made the decision, yeah, I'll purchase from these guys right now? It's very unlikely. Now, there are people that do this. I'm not saying that there aren't people out there that suddenly buy instantaneously when they see a new ad, but they're also the people that Meta are going to automatically serve your ad to. Meta knows the people that are going to purchase quick and they're going to purchase on Black Friday that have never seen an ad before, and those are the unique users that you will actually reach when your rolling reach goes up slightly. But majority of people will not do that, and your goal shouldn't be to reach new audiences that have never seen you before on Black Friday. That's a good way to just waste a bunch of money. And so instead, what you want to do in this theoretical application is spend way more in September and October. You want to make this funnel right here as big as possible leading into September, October, so that when you do then go and run the sale, you have a massive amount of people that you can then go and collapse into revenue on the weekend of Black Friday or the period in which you're running the sale. Why don't people do this? Why do most people underspend? And why will you, even after watching the first 6 minutes of this video, still definitely underspend? Well, the reason being is that all the spend that you go and put into the September and October period, it's going to have a really low return on ad spend. Or you could look at this as CPA, CAC, whatever. And so what's probably going to happen is if you did go and increase spend significantly in these periods, your daily profit contribution is likely going to go negative. And so you're going to run at a loss in September and October. And no one wants to run at a loss, particularly going into the biggest period of the year. And so people don't do it. Now, the people that do it, what they want to do is they want to have some kind of confidence that they are going to get a future expected return. And so what they will often do is run a lead campaign. If we run a lead campaign for emails, well, then at least we have some kind of guarantee of some future ROI, right? If we're acquiring these emails at $1 a lead, well, if we convert 1 in every 50 during Black Friday, we'll have a $50 CPA. That's okay. We can accept that. Now, the issue is just running a lead gen campaign for emails is one of the worst strategies for actually converting people on Black Friday, and it doesn't really work. Now, you can get lead generation strategies to work effectively. One of the best ways to do that is through giveaways. But even running giveaways in itself, if I just say run a giveaway and you'll do well on Black Friday, there's nowhere near enough specific advice in that statement for you to actually do well. 10% of people do giveaways well, and when they do it well, it works very effectively. But 90% of people just throw a giveaway up and hope for the best. And if you actually track the direct ROI in dollars off the back of that giveaway, it's negative. You lost money, and arguably, was it a good branding exercise? You're just giving stuff away for free? Probably not. And so you need to be able to actually do giveaways properly and well if it's something you even want to do. And for this video, we're just going to leave that to the side. Don't run lead campaigns. It's your way to quantify spend in an early period before Q4, but it's just a bad strategy in itself, and you end up just losing more money than if you spent on cold top of funnel campaigns. And so what is actually the outcome that if you spend in September and October, but you have a really low ROAS, you probably go negative in terms of profit contribution, but you know it's going to build the funnel for November, where you're going to then go and actualize all the revenue and these people are going to become customers. What do you do? What's the middle ground? And the answer is, I actually don't have an answer. It's completely up to you, and it depends on how confident you are in effectively the theory here, which is that you will not go and convert cold audiences on Black Friday. This will be a very, very small portion of your revenue, and you can go and validate that through your ad account right after watching this video. And then off the back of that, you know that your ultimate sales peak is going to be a function of how big your middle and top of funnel audiences are that you can then convert into the sale during this period. And you're going to measure that based on frequency. You don't want your frequency to go too high to where you just end up with a bunch of wasted ad spend. And so because of that, you know you have to spend in these early periods, but you don't want to because you're going to get a really low ROAS and you're banking everything on an expected future outcome. And so the answer probably is to run as close to break even as you can to get as much net new reach as possible in the account. I would be focusing on heavy audience exclusions, so you're actually reaching new users. I would actually be looking at rolling reach to try to increase it during Q3 so that as you move into Q4, you can then actually convert all of these new users that were reached during the period.